Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are taking a journey through the fascinating history of Australia, a land of ancient cultures, remarkable exploration, and incredible transformation. From the world's oldest living civilizations to one of the most modern and diverse nations on Earth, Australia's story spans tens of thousands of years. The history of Australia begins more than 60,000 years ago. Long before the arrival of Europeans, Aboriginal peoples lived across the continent. They developed complex societies, unique languages, spiritual traditions, and deep connections to the land. Aboriginal Australians are among the oldest continuous cultures in the world. These communities lived in harmony with nature and adapted to Australia's diverse environments, from deserts and forests to coastal regions. They passed down knowledge through stories, songs, ceremonies, and artwork. The Dreamtime, a central part of Aboriginal spirituality, explained the creation of the world and guided cultural traditions for generations. For thousands of years, Australia remained isolated from much of the world. However, in the 1600s, European explorers began arriving along its shores. Dutch sailors were among the first Europeans to map parts of the continent. They refer to the land as New Holland. In 1770, British explorer Captain James Cook sailed along Australia's eastern coast aboard the HMS Endeavour. After charting the coastline, he claimed the territory for Great Britain. This event would eventually change the course of Australian history forever. 18 years later, in 1788, the first fleet arrived at Sydney Cove. The fleet carried convicts, soldiers, and officials from Britain. Britain established a penal colony in Australia because its prisons were overcrowded. Life in the early colony was extremely difficult. Settlers faced food shortages, harsh conditions, and unfamiliar landscapes. Building homes, growing crops, and surviving in a new environment required determination and hard work. The arrival of European settlers had a profound impact on Aboriginal communities. Many indigenous peoples were displaced from their traditional lands. Conflicts, diseases, and cultural disruption led to significant population declines and long-lasting consequences that are still discussed today. Throughout the early 1800s, exploration expanded into Australia's interior. Explorers crossed mountains, mapped rivers, and searched for fertile land. As settlements grew, new colonies were established across the continent. A major turning point came in the 1850s with the discovery of gold. Gold rushes attracted thousands of people from Britain, Europe, China, and other parts of the world. Prospectors rushed to mining regions hoping to make fortunes. The gold rush dramatically increased Australia's population and wealth. New towns emerged almost overnight. Businesses flourished, and transportation networks expanded. The economic growth transformed Australia from a collection of small colonies into a rapidly developing society. By the late 19th century, many people believed the separate colonies should unite as one nation. Leaders discussed the benefits of cooperation, including defense, trade, and national identity. On January 1st, 1901, the 6 British colonies officially joined together to form the Commonwealth of Australia. Federation marked the birth of modern Australia. Although the colonies united, they retained some local powers while sharing a national government. In the years that followed, Australia continued to develop its political institutions, economy, and infrastructure. Railways connected distant regions, industries expanded, and cities became increasingly modern. When World War I began in 1914, Australia joined the conflict as part of the British Empire. Thousands of Australians volunteered for military service. One of the most famous campaigns was the Gallipoli Campaign in 1915. Although Gallipoli was not a military success, the courage and sacrifice shown by Australian and New Zealand soldiers became an important part of national identity. The Anzac spirit remains a symbol of bravery, endurance, and mateship. The Great Depression of the 1930s created economic hardship across Australia. Many people lost jobs and struggled financially. However, communities worked together to overcome these challenges.